Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner. Welcome to your latest Chelsea news and also Spurs news because we're facing Spurs. That's coming up. That's the next big match, and it's a huge match. Honestly, it's a match where 3 points is a must. It's paramount. Anything less than 3 points, I think we will have serious questions. Well, I know I will have serious questions in regards to what is going on at Chelsea Football Club and more specifically towards Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca, for me, ladies and gentlemen, he needs to set us up and prepare us for a top game against Spurs. Look, I don't even care if it's a top game. Just set us up and prepare us for 3 points. We need 3 points. It's a must. Anything less after 10 games, the points tally is not looking good this season. And for me, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. But on top of that, the matter is now intensified even more because obviously everyone knows what is our kryptonite, what really hurts us the most. Back five, don't let us play through the middle, don't give us any space, and we lack some sort of creativity. But more than that, we're also susceptible to long throws, set pieces. When it comes to defending, we've not been able to defend these situations, in a proper manner. And someone like Thomas Frank, for Brentford, when he was a Brentford manager, they had a bit of joy with Chelsea Football Club. I know in recent times, I think we've actually not been bad against Brentford, although this season we've had a draw against Brentford and all through long throw-ins and whatnot. Thomas Frank knows what our weakness is. He absolutely knows how to play Chelsea Football Club. He knows how to play it under Enzo Maresca as well. He knows what has been the problem so far for us this season, and he's going to try and exploit that. Of course, he will try and exploit that. And I believe the last game against Everton for Spurs, they really tried to do the whole, long throw-ins and set pieces nonsense that everyone's trying to do in the Premier League this season. They tried to do that as well, and they might be looking to do that again. Check this out: Thomas Frank on playing back five versus Chelsea, having Cuti Romero back could open up for that possibility. I mean, Thomas Frank publicly saying, yeah, that seems to be a problem for Chelsea. We're going to stack the defense. We're going to make sure that they don't have, any possibility to open us up. And then when it comes to perhaps launching a counter attack, we know Chelsea Football Club's defenders can be a bit flimsy, can have those odd moments that they can capitalize on, and they've got players to capitalize on, and they've got players in the set pieces to definitely capitalize on it as well. So look, I don't care. For me, I don't really care what Spurs do. We need to go to their home ground, which has been a 3-point lane for us. That's what we call, right? 3-point lane. We need to go in there, do the business, because the win is so much needed to ensure that this season is not wasted. But looks like Thomas Frank is alluding to the fact that they could possibly go with the back five against us. And we need to find a solution. We need to find a solution. Spurs manager Thomas Frank, positive news is that Cuti Romero, Destiny Udogie, and Wilson Odobert are all available for selection. So this guy is, look, on his day, Cuti Romero can be a top defender, but then he can have bozo moments as well. Like, he's probably one of the contenders that could potentially pick up a red card. But then again, we've been picking up red cards willy-nilly. We're good at picking up red cards in recent times. So this match, I won't be surprised if there's a red card coming. Honestly, I won't be surprised. But if he has a top game, then we're going to struggle. And he can score goals. Mickey van der Ven can score goals as well from set pieces. He scored 2 against Everton. I should have had him. I had him on my bench in my fantasy Premier League, Mickey van der Ven, when he scored the 2 goals. But this team, if they really want to launch the direct football, second balls, long throw-ins, set pieces, they can cause us a problem. They really can cause us problems. How we defend that and manage that, we've seen now so much of it. We should be training on that. We should be executing that defense mechanism a lot better. What I get really upset is, okay, if you don't win the headers, which is a problem, you need to win your aerial duels, but make sure you win the second balls, man. Don't be just, unaware, just confused, bewildered. Switch on. Make sure you pick up on the second balls. That's where the problem is. When you don't win the second balls and the opposition lash onto the second balls, before you know, it's a goal. It's a goal for them. So look, I don't care what they do. We need to make sure whatever they do, that we have answers for it and we execute our plan to the utmost level, because I can't imagine if we drop points here. I think Enzo Maresca's position will be seriously, in huge pressure. I definitely will put pressure on it as well, because for me this needs to be a serious season. I've been so positive, I've been so gun-ho about the squad, about the manager, but so far this season is going in a different direction and I can't accept that. I need us to be a lot more serious. Enzo Maresca on defending long throws, for sure. We are working on it, for sure. This is good. Need to keep, like, this is what I'm saying, like, we can't see the same mistakes over and over again, which makes me think that you're not practicing this in the training session. The fact that Enzo Maresca's come out publicly and said we're working on these long throw-ins and how to deal with it better, I need our team to deal with this a lot better, because you know we are going to have almost every team who are going to deploy this crazy, tactics on us, because they see that this is a distinct problem for us. Yeah, it's a distinct problem for Liverpool as well. So we need to find a solution. 100%. Enzo Maresca on whether Liam Delap is a long way from the player he wants him to be. Um, Once again, as I said in my last video, is it a language barrier? I think with Enzo Maresca, the way he was so brutal towards Liam Delap and his red card, and rightly so, if I'm being honest. Like, Liam Delap, that was nonsense. But the way Enzo Maresca was so brutal, could that cause a bit of a problem? And I did say that, is English translating, is that what he really wanted to say? English being his second language. But a lot of people are also saying that, look, he's been around in London, well, not London, in UK for a very, very long time. English shouldn't be a problem for him. But this is what he's saying. I'm not from England, so sometimes when I try to translate from Italian to English, it's a bit different. When Liam is on the pitch, he's more focused to try his battle with the defender. That's what I was trying to say. There are three players in the team that I know better than the rest: Lavia, Palmer, and Delap, because I knew them from City under-21s. I know Liam will be a fantastic player for us, but there are some things he can improve. Look, I have huge belief in Liam Delap, that he can be a top player. I think after Harry Kane, he's probably the next big thing. Well, I'm not saying that he's going to be the next. Like, you just feel that for England's sake, after Harry Kane, that Delap will be the next big thing. I feel like he's got the quality to be that. He's nowhere near Harry Kane's, skill set. That's, for 1 second, don't take that out of context. But what I'm saying is, I feel his potential is there to be England's next big thing, and I believe in that. But what he did for that red card was an absolute brain fart, and he needs to make sure that he never ever does that again. And apparently, he said sorry to his teammates about that. But sorry ain't gonna cut it. You need to eradicate that out of your system. And it's not just on Liam Delap, it's on every other player that's been picking up red cards for us. Enzo Maresca confirms Liam Delap said sorry to everyone in the changing room after his red card on Wednesday night, which is good. But make sure that, look, I don't want to see him unnecessarily battling and grappling with the CBs. Like, obviously do that. Do whatever needs to get a competitive advantage, but don't do it to a point where it's a foul and then you're picking up yellow cards for reckless play, especially the second one where he elbowed the Wolves defender. That was mad. Even the first one was mad. Just eradicate all of that. No one is saying that you can't be aggressive and physical, but what you did was reckless. Injury updates on Enzo Maresca and Fernandes, Caicedo, and João Pedro. Yes, they are okay. They are available. The reason why João didn't play against Wolves is because we tried to protect him. The same thing was with Enzo and Moy, just to give them some minutes, but the idea is to protect these players. Look, I mean, this is a concern, like, as well as Moises Caicedo has been for us, but if he's consistently having to play with pain, similarly with Enzo Fernandez and João Pedro, in the long run, I'm worried that if one of these guys get done, their injury is going to affect us a lot. So, look, I like the way Enzo Maresca has been protecting them, not playing them that much in the Carabao Cup, which is fantastic, so that they can get a bit of rest. International break coming up again in November. I just hope that these players don't play that much in the international break and maybe even stay home at Chelsea Football Club. But they do need to play for us in the Premier League. And then, hopefully they can get over whatever pain they're in, because João Pedro apparently has been playing with a bit of pain, and this could also be contributing to his lack of form in recent times. So, look, we need our medical staff to be 24/7 on these players and making sure that they recover as quickly as possible. But yeah, man, the fact that we're having to manage their training sessions, manage their game time. Yeah, I just hope that when it comes to Premier League matches, that because they're too important, and if they're unable to give their best for us, it's going to be difficult. Caicedo, I know, even if Caicedo gives us his 80% best, it's still going to be far better than many other players. But need these players to be at 100% if possible, especially for the Premier League and for the Champions League matches. Enzo Maresca, when asked how Chelsea are managing Caicedo, Fernandes, and João Pedro, we cannot plan with them because of their problems, their situations. It's game by game to see how many minutes we can give them. Look, this is why the entire squad needs to help out. Lavia, Andre Santos, all of these players need to help out. Mark Yu, this is why Dilap was needed, but the red card means he's suspended. So we need to utilize the squad. The squad needs to play as a group and help each other out. That's how I see it, and that's how Enzo Maresca needs to manage this situation. Now, last but not least, former Brighton technical director David Wee has joined Strasbourg as sporting director, coming from Ben Jacobs. More transactions with Brighton. Now we're taking Brighton directors again and becoming Strasbourg directors, which, look, Brighton ultimately feels like part of our multi-model structure. I've always said that Brighton, we do so much business with them, we might as well have them in our multi-club model structure. But it's one of those ones where unofficially they look like they're part of our multi-club model. And it's one of those under the table situation where we're not going to make it official, but under the table, yeah, you're our sister club. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, more business happening with Brighton. Our owners love Brighton structure. Our owners definitely get along with Tony Bloom, I believe, Brighton owner. And Brighton owner has said we are their best customers, not just for players, but for their staff and everyone. So look. I've said it many a times. We are Brighton in steroids. We're the bigger Brighton, an improved Brighton. Whatever Brighton's doing, we're doing it in an enhanced fashion. So, anywho, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke, especially Spurs, back five, probably low block, probably set pieces. How do we make sure that we can negate that? Let me know your thoughts. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, take care. See ya. Bye.